Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IT On Call podcast. I'm your host, Ross to the rescue, Feldman. I'm here with Kate Josephine Johnson. Hey, Kate, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and y'all, sorry I have a little bit of a frog in my throat. Allergies got to me, but hopefully I'll still say good things, even if I don't sound so good.
It's welcome and excused. It's so amazing with COVID how we are all working from home. We're all Zooming. We're all still, you know, we wouldn't drag ourselves to the office, right?
Nope,
I mean,
nope,
we would stay home. But with the day of age of connectivity, we're all working from home no matter what our condition is.
for sure.
So, yeah, I totally get that. And it's so funny. You and I were talking about our kids. My son was 5 years old when COVID happened. He's 11 now. And he's completely used to Zoom and digital, and he has not figured out in-person relationships.
Oh
It's such a
gosh,
foreign concept to him. So that's the thing with the COVID kids, that they got affected depending on where they were in their age. But he was in
yeah,
kindergarten, and that's when you learn friendships and you learn how to intermingle with other people. And he was on Teams the whole time, so on his
yeah.
Chromebook. So he got affected, but he's headed to middle school. We're hoping the best for him. How are your kids doing?
We're doing good. We got 4 weeks left. They're kind of counting down. I've got a seventh grade, fifth grade, and fourth grade. Um,
Hmm.
and we're ready for summer. It's gonna as business owners,
Hmm.
especially a firm like mine. I know I've told people more about my firm on the first time you and I interviewed when I was talking about having this bookkeeping firm. Um, but my next months are going to look different than the other 9 months of the year. But I'm grateful that my business has been able to support our lifestyle choices, which includes me like mostly working from home while they're still at home with me. So it's always interesting.
I love your LinkedIn banner. 5:30 meetings available. I'm like, that's an early morning. I work out at that time in the morning. I don't do meetings at 5:30, so I
I
work out
do.
as the
I
first thing of the day, so I can check off something off.
Yeah, I do offer those meetings. That's a
Yeah,
legacy of me starting whenever my kids were babies, and it was what I could do. And I'm a morning person, so it works well. So
I love that. That's great. Yeah, we're talking about our kids. My son is a gamer, avid, loves to game. He takes a Nintendo game, sit in a week, and then he beats it three more times. He's really good at that, and it's so fun and funny to me how good he is at it. But he's watches a lot of YouTube, and he watches gamers, and then he doesn't get on Twitch, but Twitch is another thing. So he and I were talking about his video gaming, and he kind of wanted to start up a YouTube channel. I have consumed YouTube since it started in '04, but I've never produced content. So I started doing some research. I found out what's called a capture card. He already had a gaming laptop, so I set up a capture card on his gaming laptop, plugged in his Nintendo Switch. We started a channel. We used Canva to do the logo. He helped me. I mean, he helped me with all of this. We named the channel Nintendo Gaming, and we started streaming Nintendo content. He said he didn't want to be on camera. He didn't want to have audio of him. He just wanted gaming's and he didn't want to go live, which with StreamYard looks like we're having some issues with the live anyway. So it's never good to go live. The channel, we were producing enough videos to have a video go out every day, and I programmed it to Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. Produce, send, release video, and the algorithm loved us. We did that for 3 months straight, and then we got a little burned out. We got a little tired of doing that, and then the algorithm said, bump you. Once we stopped producing enough videos for once a day at 8 a.m. every day, it just stopped promoting our videos. So our channel has 200 subscribers, but it's dead. And my son got burned out. He didn't want to game record. It was too much for him. So we went through a 3 month YouTube journey. Your journey's a little longer than my journey.
yes,
When did you get started on YouTube?
I don't even really remember. I would say probably 2012. 2012 was when I started. I think 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 I started. COVID-ish, because I do remember taking a video editing class online for the software called Camtasia.
Mhm.
I make
Mhm.
bookkeeping videos, and so I needed to be able to blur client data, and I got stuck at that point. I was like, wait a second. And so I had to learn about like layers in a video and how I can, record a screen with me talking, but then go back and say like, well, I can't have that client's name at the top of the screen to show this financial report. And I took that class in COVID. So probably about 2020 is whenever
Mhm.
I hit upload, or at least hit upload on what I would say was a good video. Yeah, and I still do it. I don't have a consistent clip. I never have. At the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm gonna make so many videos, and something happens, and I can't always hit that. But I've been consistently inconsistent for 5 years now.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, is consistency is key. I know the algorithm loves consistency, and I'm pretty sure the audience loves it too. My wife is a YouTuber. She has an ASMR channel. Shout out to Southern Clover ASMR, and she does videos. And she's a at-home mom. She can't keep a consistent schedule with her videos, so her videos are haphazardly uh, uh, uploaded. She does amazing production. She produces them very well, thinks them through, edits them, all that sort of stuff, but all herself. And she loves doing things herself. She doesn't like to outsource. I love to outsource. I love getting other people involved. If I don't have to do the editing, I'll let somebody else do the editing. But I know how to do the editing. Like, you're using Camtasia. I've got some open source software. So, but you have, you talked about blurring out client data. You actually have 2 YouTube channels, right?
I do, yeah. So I have a channel called Bookkeeping Side Hustle, where I am trying to teach other accounting minded people to start a business, and lots of people started on the side. I would say my business started on the side, although now it's I work every day now. And then my other one, my client facing one, is called Fix Your FreshBooks. And it is a very, very niche channel. It is never going to go big, because I just teach one software, and it has all my inbound leads come from that channel. I don't need a lot of clients, but I just need clients who use one software, and by the time they come to me, they've already fallen in love with me. They know my personality. It has been so good for making good matches for me, because I'm not for everybody. I assume there's people who watch my videos and say, I don't like her. Thankfully, I'll never know who they are. They're not telling me that. But lots of people end up liking me, and they reach out. And on the bottom of my intake form, I have, how did you hear about Heritage Business Services? And I would say 98% of those prospective client forms say, YouTube. I saw you on YouTube. I love you. I love your YouTubes. I've watched too many of your YouTubes, so I had to call you. So that's the Fix Your FreshBooks channel. And it's a niche play. It's totally niche.
But I mean, niching is highly recommended in my business. MSPs, managed service providers, Better Call IT niches into the micro businesses. That's the solopreneurs up to 15 employees, and works with nonprofits. And we're highly recommended as MSPs to niche, find our niche, play our niche. I was on the forums yesterday with other MSPs around the world, and one of them is car dealerships. That's all they do, is car dealerships. And we're talking about networks of 50 dealerships. They call them rooftops. So, niching is not a bad thing. And there's that whole specializations only for ants. But I think in business, it really helps to hone in where you're headed, what your ideal client looks like, what your ideal profile looks like, your unique selling proposition, things like that.
Yes.
How do you, when you're doing a YouTube video, how do you promote yourself? Do you put a slide at the end of your video, or do you actually tell people, here's my scheduling URL? How do you get people to schedule with you?
Yeah, I often have a couple of mentions of how to contact me. Sometimes some of my videos lead to a download. So the marketing term is called a CTA, a call to action. And so usually before I hit record,
CTA.
in my mind, I'm thinking before I hit record, like, what is the next thing I want the viewer to do? Sometimes it's watch another video. Sometimes it's download like my year-end checklist for FreshBooks users. Like they want to get ready for tax time. Like, and then that allows me to capture email and move them off of YouTube. So I only have about 3 downloads though that I kind of consistently promote. I will say I have one other lead magnet that has been working for me for the last 2 years, and that is I do a free Q&A once a month. And so that's been a common call to action whenever because I really don't want people, I mean, people can email me. I think probably almost every video says reach out to Kate at Heritage Business Services. But I don't know. That just gets them in my inbox. That's fine. But I would rather do this. I think it's a more scalable thing when I do this every third Thursday, a free Q&A. And so I have those registration links for months out. It's always the same URL. Go to this URL. It's called, like, I say, go to heritagebusinessservices.com/help-with-FreshBooks. And then I make like a little sound. I go like pop, and I put it up there on my screen, right in front of my face. And I say, that's how you can get your questions answered for free every month. Come sign up. And it takes them to a Zoom registration link, and that gets them in my orbit as well. Once they sign up for that, you get to ask me one question for free on that Thursday, and then I pursue you, you pursue me, whatever, wherever we land. Sometimes it doesn't go anywhere, and they answer one question and I never talk to them again. But that's the CTA that I am really into probably for the last 2 years.
And that's the thing, is that those are office hours. And office hours is bring me your problems. Well, you can talk about topics on your videos, but this is the audience giving that feedback, that FAQ, that audience participation type of thing. And it's good to get the conversation going in both directions. So that gives you the opportunity to turn the tide and open it up. I used to roll out Cisco WebEx, and they had office hours every Thursday. And whenever I ran into something that was a product bug, I would go to office hours to promote the repair. They didn't have a mechanism for me to have a feedback model to say, hey, something's broken in WebEx in the product. I had to go to office hours. Yeah. But it was a good way to stay connected in the community and build community. And I was able to connect with other WebEx professionals to learn how are they educating their customers? What are their customers asking for? So it was a networking opportunity. I love networking. I've got my website, the charlottenetworkinghub.com. I list all the Charlotte networking events that are in the Charlotte area. And it's a $10 flat fee every month to subscribe. And it's a great resource. We've got 87 networking groups, over 100 events a month.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's so fun. I want to get more people subscribed on there and get that word out there on LinkedIn. So I'm working with my chief marketing officer, my fractional chief marketing officer, to do LinkedIn ads and Google ads. And that's the thing, is that we have this content that you've created. Then we have to pay to get your content out there. That's like the next step that has to happen. But you have to have that ROI, is that you're spending this money on marketing dollars. I'm spending my money on StreamYard for this marketing that I do with the podcast. And that's coming out of my marketing budget, but it's getting it out there and it's getting people aware of what possibilities there are. Do you get ideas and you write them down and then you do videos, or you wait until someone emails you something and it comes up? How do you get your video ideas?
Oh my gosh, all of the above. So I'm a Google girl, and so I have a note in my Keep app. That's like the basic note taker for Google. Yep. And I just have a brain dump place there. Sometimes I ask for people to give me ideas at the end of a YouTube video, so that leads to comments. Providing ideas. I'll tell you one thing that I've been doing, and then it came to my mind while you were saying about the Charlotte Networking Hub, is I'm realizing that I'm not always the smartest person in the room. And so how can I use other people's good ideas? So I do sell this service called My FreshBooks Office Hours. It's a paid service that my freebie once a month Q&A session kind of leads
Right.
to that. But
Upsell.
there was a guy that he's a regular member of my group, and he was talking about how he uses project tracking in FreshBooks. I mean, this is an obscure thing, y'all, so the details don't matter. But he shared his screen, and he was like, "Look, I use this particular chart to know if I priced my projects properly." And FreshBooks has this like color coding where it was like red for bad and a blue color for good. And I didn't know he was doing that, and I hadn't seen anyone doing that. And the group, the people who were listening, they were like, "Oh my gosh, can you show that again? Where'd you find that? Where's that view?" And he explained it. And then they asked, they're like, "Kate, you need to make a video, but it's not going to be me. It's going to be this guy, Brent. And I'm going to record it and we're going to go live. But I'm going to say, Brent had this genius idea. He's smarter at it than me. Let's show what he's doing. And I'm going to make like a 10-minute, just a technical tutorial, but I'm using other people's ideas to come up with content." And it just kind of hit me. I was like, I have got to start doing more of that. It's more exciting. That guy, Brent, he's going to love, he's not a YouTuber. And now he's going to be on YouTube. He's going to love that. You know, he's going to show his kids, "Look, Daddy got on YouTube." And so just that camaraderie of letting other people shine and showing off their smarts. So I was thinking about your Charlotte networking. Like, what if the promo is just like all those people whose events you're promoting, you do lives with them, real short. Tell us about, and like scripted almost, like the same three questions. Tell us about your event. Tell us when it is, and tell us the coolest thing about it. And then they're short, and then you don't have to think so hard. You've kind of templatized a video, perhaps, and crank those out. Create a booking link. Get people who you want to show up to make videos with you. Give them a link. Record. Upload. Don't overthink it. That's the point. I'm not like, wow, there's like all these great ideas right in front of me. Just make it as easy and systematic as possible, and content can start to not feel like such a chore.
And that's the thing, is that you don't want your YouTube channel to be a chore. It became a chore for us, for Nintendo Gaming. It was fun to start, but it didn't last. And a blessing in disguise. I could say that I did something fun with my son. I liked it. He doesn't want to do live streaming. He doesn't want to do Twitch. He doesn't want to do meet the maker. So we couldn't grow it. We couldn't do like social media and Instagram and things like that, which I was thinking about getting into, but he didn't want to professionalize it. So that's fine.
I have something to say about that. And I think there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm going to do this because I love it." And I'm 43. I'm not old, but I'm not young. And I just think that that's a whole bunch of bull. It is so much work. So don't start this thinking, "Oh, I just want to educate my community," or, "Oh, I'm just, this is just a hobby." I mean, you can. But if it's a hobby, you need to mentally think of it as a hobby. And most hobbies that are a lot of work don't last. And so I think as quickly as possible, this is the rational economist in me talking, as quickly as possible, you need to see money tied to that activity. So for me, one of my channels is monetized, and I barely make any money, by the way. No one's making a lot of money by YouTube ads, okay?
No.
That channel is monetized though, so I'm making a little bit, whatever, that's great. My Fix Your FreshBooks channel is actually not monetized yet. I've got plenty of subscribers, but I don't have the required watch time in the 12-month period. And so you might think that's discouraging, but I see the money tied to my activity. I see those prospective client calls, forms being filled out saying, "I saw you on YouTube." And so that is what's able to keep me going whenever, like you're saying, like people, you feel burnt out. And it's like, I know I got to make a video because I can see the path. I can see the clear path to income. Okay. And I'm not a greedy capitalist. I'm very generous. I just am practical. And it's going to be hard to go at it for the long haul. My guess is your son didn't have a monetary plan. If he was pulling in $1,000 a month as an 11-year-old, he's going to probably have a different level of motivation. right? And so adults are no different. We're just like big kids, right? So I don't know. I just see a lot of time, especially like people, oh, I just want to be generous. I've learned so much. I'm happy to help. And like, I think while you still have bills to pay and mouths to feed, money talks, and I don't know. So I don't want to come across as cold-hearted, but I just see it all the time. And you got to quickly figure out, how can I turn this into some money? There's a lot of ways to turn YouTube into money. You can talk about referral links. So on my Fix Your FreshBooks channel, I make a good living from recommending the payroll software I recommend and the bank that I recommend. Sorry, I don't make it. It's not a living. I do not make enough to make a living or recommending those, but I make extra income. I make extra income.
Revenue streams, yeah.
I actually sometimes even do just commercials for myself in my videos. I always save it to the end because I figure if someone's watching my obscure video to the end, they have fallen for me. They are in love with me by this point, right? They're saying she is my gal for my current needs, right? She's going to fix my problems. And so at the end, sometimes I have, it's not really a CTA, but it's kind of a CTA. And I say, hey, if you watch these videos and you've appreciated what I've done, you know one way to say thanks? If you need a new payroll software or if you need a new bank, I have referral links for my two favorite softwares that I actually personally use. That'd be a great way to say thanks. And so I end with that. And it's only the people who are already watching the whole thing, so they're already locked in on me. And so it's almost like a commercial. I think sometimes I've even said, oh, real quick commercial break here. Mama's got to eat or mama's got to make some money. And I'll try to make it cute. But I just say that. And it leads to the occasional referral sale.
And that's so funny you said thank you. Thank yous. Kim Angeli is a business coach in my network, and she has a Grow with Gratitude Facebook group. And Brian Johnson also Grow with Gratitude. He's got his own model. I forgot what he calls it, where it's about thank you cards. And for my clients every year, I do Sugar Wish. Sugar Wish is a website that you put 10% down on a code, and you send them an email code where they can pick their popcorn, pick their nuts, whatever gift item they want, gift cards, and it ships. But the cool thing is that the code has a timer on it. And if they don't use the code in 90 days, you get that 90% back, and you just have the 10% down that you have to pay for. So I like that ability to send a thank you. And the impact, I know for honesty, not every one of my clients actually followed through. They appreciated it, so they loved the thank you, but they didn't actually go through and click the code and use the code. So there was analytics on that. But I love the idea of creating interactivity with your customer, your audience, the suggesting that they do comments. I have been perpetually bad about not mentioning that we're on LinkedIn Live and that you can put comments at the bottom, and I can see them here in StreamYard. But it's one of those that some people, they watch this podcast on demand afterwards. So it's not always a live audience. But that's the thing with YouTube, is that you're putting it out there, and they may watch this at 2 a.m. and then they put in comments and have that interactivity. That's really cool.
That's one of the things I love about YouTube, is that it's much more evergreen than other platforms. Mm-hmm. And it's Google owns YouTube, I think. And so for like search purposes, I know without a doubt my face comes up when people search how to issue a credit in FreshBooks, or how to reconcile your bank in FreshBooks, or all these tiny nerdy things, right? I mean, they're not cool, but those people who have that problem, that's who I want, right? And so but if you just go live on Facebook or on those are like feed based, and those get buried, and they're not going to come up in a search. So I love YouTube for like the library aspect of it. You can create playlists. I can create playlists for beginning FreshBooks questions, advanced FreshBooks questions, or bookkeeping resources I recommend. So also there's you can treat it like I guess my point is, like, I don't think of myself as a YouTuber. I'm a smart bookkeeper who wants to help a lot of people and share my knowledge. And I find that YouTube is the best platform for that. And it ends up helping me earn a living in my company.
Exactly. And it's all ROI. It's all return on investment. And Google owns YouTube. They bought YouTube a couple decades ago. The number one website trafficked is Google. The number two website is YouTube.
Yes.
It's the video search. And I'm guilty of this. I have ADD. I can't sit and read a book. I have to watch a YouTube video. So as much content is out there, it helps me to get answers. I was Googling something called Windows Sandbox mode on Windows 11. I didn't read the technical documentation Microsoft had it. I went straight to a YouTube video that someone had put together. And in 3 minutes and 25 seconds, I had my answer.
Yes.
So it was like, that's how I consume media. And we have the TikTok generation today. They consume their news, their shopping, their friends, their trends, all on TikTok. So it's all about the video platform.
But is TikTok searchable?
It is searchable. And you have room, like a YouTube video, you can do hashtags and descriptions. It's the same thing in TikTok, that you can do a description. And the technology is there that there's transcription. So as your video is recorded, there's an audio, there's the text file behind the scenes that the algorithm is using, that you keep using that word FreshBooks in your video. It uses that in the search algorithm, even though you might not even say FreshBooks in the title or in the description. So it's feeding the algorithm, and they're able to put that together.
So if I put a FreshBooks video on TikTok, like if I put how to reconcile a bank account in FreshBooks, is someone going to search something like that, and a video from 2 years will show up? Like, are they going to resurface old videos like YouTube does?
Gen Z and Gen Alpha are using TikTok before they use YouTube. Our Gen Xers, our millennials, those are using YouTube. So you've already produced the content, put it on another platform. You can even schedule your TikToks now, which is great. So you can do all this at 2 a.m. and then schedule it to go at 8 a.m. when business opens and things like that. Or you could tell people, check my channel at 8 o'clock and they'll be there, and that kind of thing. That helps too. Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, we were going to talk about YouTube, but TikTok's another platform to get on top of. Yeah.
Well, that's the multi-purpose, right? Like, you record the video, and I've gotten better at this, where like trying to think multi-platform. Like, if I want to upload a video to LinkedIn, it has to be short. I forget the length. But I used to make some pretty long tutorials, and I couldn't upload the MP4 to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn doesn't like sharing YouTube links. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I want people to get the knowledge and fall in love with me more than I want the watch time on YouTube. And so I had to realize, like, well, if I want to put the same video raw file on LinkedIn, I have to start going shorter. And then I think Twitter was like a 3-minute limit at one point. So you learn all these things, but that's the repurposing, because I cannot make 2 videos about the same thing for 2 different platforms. Shoot me. Like, no way. I'm not doing that. So
if you could go back 5 years and tell yourself something, what did you learn? What's a big lesson that you definitely had to teach yourself through the process?
Excuse me, y'all. I've been thinking about that, and maybe we can kind of end here, but I just think that lots of times people are worried about like appearances on YouTube. And I'm susceptible to that as well. I don't know if maybe like your son was thinking about that. You said he didn't want to go live. He didn't want to have his face. Like, so I think that probably has a lot to do with like how we're feeling about ourselves. And I took this mentality that it's not about how I look. It's not even about how my videos look. Like, you could spend hours making great edited videos, right? Like whooshing in and like all this stuff. And I've gotten better at it. But when the switch flipped for me when I said, like, I just want to show off my brain. And like this little microphone right here, I'm wearing this today. I have a better Yeti microphone, but this was my first microphone. And I wanted people to see this because I think it's kind of nerdy. Like, I realize that like the 20-year-old, if there's a 20-year-old business owner watching a FreshBooks video, they're probably going to think, oh golly, old lady, what are you wearing, right? But the things I'm saying are really good.
Right.
And so this actually was kind of intentional, and I've used this microphone longer than I probably should, but it's just to illustrate this purpose about, folks, if you're here for looks, this is not your, go someplace else. If you're here for the brains, if you're here for what I have to say, if you're here because I'm the best teacher to solve your problems, then stick around. And so it kind of helped me just like not worry about my background, not like, yeah, my background's not great. Is my FreshBooks great? Yes.
Right.
So that just really helped me to that mental model of like, it's not about what I look like. You can still make videos without putting your face on them. I think people find it charming when faces are there though. So maybe you could start with like down in the corner, real tiny, talking about whatever you're showing off. But that's what I would like to say. Just quickly get over this like worrying about what other people are thinking about how you look, and instead just be confident in your abilities. So that's how I'll answer that question.
I love that. And that's the thing is that, I was just having a conversation with my business coach client. We were talking about her Riverside for her podcast. And she's like, should I blur my background or not blur my background? And she has a really professional background. It looks really nice in her office. It's been done by a professional organizer. This is what my office looks like. So, it's like I could blur my background. I could put a virtual background in, but I'm a straight shooter. So here's what you get, right? So hopefully that lands with people.
Yeah, and I have an office now, but before we moved from Virginia to Texas, I had like a closet. Like there was you can't shine a turd, right? Like it's like, but did I want to stop and not put my brains out there? No, I didn't care that I was in basically a closet. Well, this has been so great. I hope people are encouraged. You just got to start. Your videos will be so bad. Your first videos will be so bad. And then a year from now, you're going to be like, look, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did it. That's what I always tell people.
Absolutely. You got to start somewhere, and you got to start today.
Yeah.
How can people get in touch with you? How can they find you, your YouTube channels again?
Yeah, so I love connecting with fellow business owners on LinkedIn. I'm Kate Josephine Johnson, and I have a little coffee mug in my name to identify the spammers. And then my YouTube channel for FreshBooks is called Fix Your FreshBooks, and my YouTube channel there's another one called Bookkeeping Side Hustle. And I'm known by my red hair, so if you see the red hair, you know it's me.
Cool. ScheduleRoss.com is the best way to get in touch with me. If you have my cell phone number, text or call me. Better Call IT services the solopreneurs, and I feel like the audience is a lot of solopreneurs, and we're growing our nonprofit footprint right now. So if there's a nonprofit that's in need of IT services, give me a call. Thanks so much, Colin. Thanks so much for being on the call today, Kate, and I hope your crowd goes away.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Adios.